So I'm here with the owner, the CEO. What are all your titles?
Owner, CEO, founder, janitor, used to be former janitor.
Of the Alamo Theater, Tim Lee. Tim, what made you start the Alamo Theater in general?
Well, it depends on how far you want to go back, but I had taken a career path to become an engineer for Shell Oil, and really from the first day of that job I realized that I'd made some sort of catastrophic error in judgment somewhere along the line.
But you get all the free gas you want.
No, actually that's not, you didn't even get a discount. I did sometimes abuse the company car policy, so I probably shouldn't be talking about that on camera. But back to the reason why I didn't like my job, and I was just looking for something that I did like. And I've always been movie obsessed. I've loved movies. I just never thought of it as a career. And on my way to work at Shell, there was an abandoned movie theater, and a week later I signed a lease on that theater. So that's how I got into the business. Just,
wow.
Stupidity and being spontaneous and being very young and too dumb to know that it's a bad idea.
And here we are years later. How many theaters do you have now?
We've got a couple in construction. By the end of the year, we'll probably have 17. So we've got 2 more to open, and then in the next 2 weeks, and then we have one in San Marcos that's opening, or New Braunfels in October.
Now, why? And we brought bananas. Why the ape theme? I'm going to eat bananas. While you're welcome to have a banana.
Why the ape theme?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wanted to do something different with each of the lobbies, and probably should have waited to finish.
No, you can talk with it.
And so there's no particular reason why this theater is the Planet of the Apes theater, but one theater had to be a Planet of the Apes theater because it's one of the greatest. Well, at least the original movies are one of the greatest franchises ever, and I'm a huge fan of every single one of the original movies, even the last one, which is not that great, but it's still pretty great.
It was pretty bad.
Has good things about it. And by last movie, I'm not talking about the one that came out a couple years ago. I mean the one from...
I was talking Mark Wahlberg, the bad...
Yeah, no, that's a bad one. I'm only talking about the original set of movies back in the late 60s, early 70s. I had a collection of some Planet of the Apes posters, and then Mondo did a series of all the Planet of the Apes movies. And it was really when I found out that Greg Nicotero had bought this crazy mold for the original Lawgiver that was the impetus to bring it up, tie the room together. So that's how that came about.
Now, if you have the Lawgiver statue in the lobby here, what kind of collectibles do you have at home?
I have quite a few. I'm a collector by nature. I mean, our 35mm film archive came from the fact that I was a personal collector of 35mm film. As part of what got me into this business, is I was a movie collector. So I have a lot of posters. The impetus to start Mondo in the first place was I loved movie posters, and all of my walls are pretty well covered with movie posters and memorabilia.
What is the absolute worst movie you've ever shown in an Alamo theater?
The absolute worst movie. It might have been that Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes.
So you're going to show it here then?
No, we're never going to show that one again. I don't know. There's been an awful lot. I mean, there's. We do show. It depends on what you mean. There's a pretty bad movie that I like to show around Christmas time called The Magic Christmas Tree, which has a lot of gratuitous lawn mowing scenes and a talking Christmas tree. It's just one of those movies that was made for about 42 cents back in the 60s and pawned off as a Christmas movie for kids, and it's just sort of mind-bogglingly strange. But that's a pretty bad movie, and I'd like to show that every year.
Now, what's your perfect storm? You said earlier, by the way, that your favorite seats in a theater are the front row. Mm-hmm. Really?
I'd probably sit one row back here. I like to sit and be able to just barely see the edge of the screen. So I like that feeling of it just being absorbed in the screen. So if I can see the curtains, then I'm probably too far back for my taste.
But you get a crink in your neck.
It doesn't bother me. Yeah.
You know what's good for crinks in your neck?
Bananas, really?
Protein.
Good. Right.
There we go. What is your perfect storm at an Alamo Drafthouse? What is your movie, food, And we know your seat now, but what's your movie and food combo with?
Well, I like it when we do special events and we have one of the multi-course meals where the food times with the movie. The very first one of those we ever did was Like Water for Chocolate. And with the exception of the dessert course, which comes early, we did flip those. You can time it such that when they're talking about the soup, you can deliver the soup. When they're talking about, I'm going to forget the dishes. Regardless, when they're talking about the food, it lands in front of you, so that becomes kind of this magical experience. I like the idea of what Bill was talking about with The World's End. We're going to do these samplers of 12 different English beers. Like, that's going to be a cool experience. So whenever we can do something as a theater that goes above and beyond and like has something really special, Sideways way back in the day, we brought the actual wines that they were tasting. Some of them were pretty expensive, but if you're really into it, if you're really a wine enthusiast, then that makes that experience all the more special.
Now, what would help my movie experience? You have a theater in Loudoun County. You have theaters around the country. Where are they now?
Mostly in Austin, and then we have 3 in San Antonio. We have 2 in the Houston area, and then we're in Loudoun County and Winchester in kind of that northern Virginia area, and we have theaters under construction in Kalamazoo, and in Manhattan and San Francisco, and then we also have one in Kansas City.
Wow. So I have an ex-girlfriend in Loudoun County.
Mm-hmm.
Can you ban her from the theater there?
Well, maybe you could encourage her to behave badly, and then that's the path to being banned at the Alamo.
I'll text her.
Or maybe encourage her to steal waiter tips off the table. That's a ban for life move.
Have you?
So you can trick her into this.
Have you ever been kicked out of a movie theater yourself?
Have I ever been kicked out of a movie theater? No, I never have. I'm pretty internally neurotic, and so I get really anxious if I'm causing annoyance to other people. So I don't think I could ever do it.
And final question for you: if Gwen Stefani came to your movie theater, what would she think about it?
Gwen Stefani. I literally have not thought about Gwen Stefani for over a decade.
It's a song reference. It's a song reference.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I just know about movies. Do you want me to make a banana joke? I think she would think it was bananas, BANANAS.
Do we have the cards for that setup? We have the cards for that setup. He's a big Gwen Stefani fan, so when you're in town, Gwen, stop here. I don't know where she is either. She's been kind of out of everything, right?
Yeah.
She's no longer relevant. Thank you so much for your time.
I'm really sorry I botched the Gwen Stefani thing.
You know,
you can fix it in post or whatever.
We will. We'll just add words over top of what you said to make it seem real smooth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thanks for making such an awesome movie theater chain. That's
thank
really
you.
great.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the banana.
Oh, no problem. You can have the rest of these too. Here.
No, thanks.